Hello, families. It's much easier for me to do a video this way to explain assignments, and also with that, instead of just writing email and then have you have a million, it's completely fine if you have a million questions, but I want to make sure that I showed you certain things. So I'm going to be sending you home with a packet. We're working on how-to books, how to do anything. It's just something to teach. If they want to teach us how to roller skate, how to plant a seed, how to draw a circle, how to draw a square, how to paint a house, how to anything they want to teach us, how to make pancakes, how to make cookies. They are going to have different pages that they're going to have to fill out. So of course we have the cover. They're going to tell us how to and like what their book's about. They're going to have a detailed illustration on the front to entice your reader into reading your book. And then, of course, the author, their name's going to be, this is the book that we've been working on together. It's How to Wash Your Hands. So it's something that we all pretty much were an expert on. And that's another thing that they need to understand, that it needs to be a right fit book. So if they're saying, I want to teach you how to play soccer, but they've never played soccer before, maybe that's not a right fit book for them to write because they're not really knowledgeable of it. So we knew how to wash our hands, so all of us were really excited about this one, so we are writing that book as a class. So the next page in here, it says you will need. So of course the kiddos, they told me, they gave me a list of things that we needed, and they said they needed water, they needed a sink, they needed soap, they needed paper towels, and they needed a trash can. They need all of those things in order to be able to wash their hands properly. And then of course there's going to be different pages, there's going to be different sections, 2 sections on each page, so 2 steps. I'm going to give you a total of pages for like 6 steps. You don't have to do all 6 steps if it doesn't take 6 steps, but you can do up to 6 steps. I wouldn't go much more than that because I think that's a lot of writing, a lot of detail for this basic skill that we're doing just to introduce what the how-to book is. So try to make it simple, but try to make it fun too, okay? They're going to be doing an illustration and of course a sentence that they're going to be doing the steps. So be very specific. So because a lot of times where they would, when we did our how to wash hands, they were telling me how to do the steps and we were doing it, and then Miss Katie in here was like, oh, let me try those instructions because I want to make sure you know that these are right. And then all of a sudden we realized that we had to add a couple more steps. We had to make sure that we turned on the water for the sink. We had to get our hands wet first before we got the soap. We had to know now we're not just scrubbing, we're not just rubbing soap in our hands. No, we have to be specific. We have to scrub for 20 seconds and then we have to rinse our hands off, and then we had to get a paper towel. And then they added at the end that they have to throw that paper towel away because it can't sit on the counter. So of course. So they were having super fun with this, but also to make sure that they're doing enough instructions where it's going to make sense. Now the sentences do not have to be super long. They don't have to be where it's, get the flour, get the cup. I mean, you don't have to write many words. You could just say, get out the cup of flour. Sorry, Miss Vincent came in here. Just one more second. And then get out your hands. So like right here where it says, get your hands wet, or put soap on your hands. So of course we spelled the words correctly in our sentences here just because we were doing a class together. But if they're writing the sentences by themselves, then you can make sure that they just write it out phonetically. So if they're saying get where it's G-I-T, sometimes they do write that because they're hearing get instead of get. Then that's completely acceptable. When we were writing out hands, sometimes they were writing H-A or H-N-D-S instead of the H-A. So we sounded it out as a class, but if they're doing it together or if they're doing it independently and they happen to forget a sound here or there, but they're writing what they hear, that's completely fine. I'm not grading them on if it's spelled correctly, but I am grading them on if, or looking to see if they have capital letters at the beginning of the sentences, periods at the end of the sentences, finger spaces, and also to sounding those words out phonetically and like writing on the line. So please work with them on those things. Those are things that I'm trying to get them ready for first grade. Those things are skills that they hit the ground running and they have to really know before they go to first grade. And that's going to, these next 4 months are going to come up very, very, very quickly. So we want to make sure that we keep reminding them. Okay. And then just basically, I'm going to give you these on Friday, the work on it over the weekend, pretty much anytime next week. Hand it back, and then once they turn them back in, then they'll read to their friends in the class. And sometimes we try to do some of these things too if it's feasible. So especially if it's like, you know, how to draw a square or a circle or something that we could do in the class, that we have the supplies here, then it's pretty cool because the kids get to do it. So have fun with it, and if you have any questions, just let me know. All right, thanks.